Okay, welcome everybody. And for those of you that are watching the recording, this is our Tuesday call. It's the 10th today, January 10th. And today, you guys, I'm going to post a graphic about this on the Facebook group too. Andrew graciously made it for me this past week. We kind of have a rotating topic, of what we like to talk about. And I think that we've, shared a little bit and mentioned it before on the team call. But like I said, I'm going to post this graphic. And it's our team call schedule. And it's, you probably can't see that because I don't know if it flips around for you. But the first week will be about enrolling. The second week of the month will be about volume retention and LRP, which is what we're going to talk about today. And then the third week will be belief and growth. And then the fourth week in the month will be about rank, a plan for the next month, and a little bit about compensation too. And we figured that those were really great topics because, again, at the beginning of the month, we want to be, enrolling, moving things along, and really we want to do all these things the entire month. The second week of the month, we're getting close to the 15th. We're still before the 15th. We want to ensure that our customers are getting the wellness consults that they need and desire, and that they're being supported in using their products so that they can really take full advantage of the doTERRA membership. And then, of course, the third week, we want to talk about belief and growth and really developing you, because we know that developing you is really at the heart of this business. And then the fourth week, we want to get set up for success for the next month in planning your rank and understanding how compensation works.
Just the number 2 isn't smaller because it's less important. It's just because there are more letters to make it fit on one line. And I thought I like having a schedule where that each week there's a rotation, because that way every time you bring on a new builder, in the third week of the month you're going to learn about like the belief pyramid kind of stuff, or if someone's like, I don't know how to get people signed up, it's okay. Well, you can work on it during the mentor calls, and then we have the team call. You know what I mean? I thought of something I wanted to make an announcement for really fast, if you don't mind. Our friend PJ Hanks, she's a diamond on Laura Jacobs' Frontline. She does a weekly online class every single week. And PJ Hanks is the one that wrote the book about chemistry and essential oils. Like, she's a science guru with oils.
She knows tons about oils. She's a fantastic expert.
Like, anyone that's like, how many drops is it safe for a 7-year-old to take? Like, weird questions like that. She's the one that would know the legitimate answer to. And she invited our whole team to join her class. And basically it's every Tuesday night, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's every Tuesday night.
And it's a full class. She usually does it from the product catalog. So it's like an Oils 101 class. Sometimes she'll throw in a specialty topic, but it's just like a real class where like you could sit down with a friend. If you're like, Brandon's brand new, right? So Brandon could sit down with a friend or two and just tune into this class, and you could whip out your oils as she introduces them and let everyone smell. And then at the end, she does a class close too, just like a regular class. And she invites them, she shows the enrollment kits and invites them to sign up with whoever brought them to the class. Yeah. And then she says, like, if you're watching this yourself, like, talk to the person that shares doTERRA with you and have them help you get set up. So we should we'll get details about the link.
We'll find the link and put that in our Facebook group. Would that be helpful to you guys? Do you think you'd enjoy having that resource? Amber says yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Yes. And great, because then no matter what, you always have a class every single week that you can take people to, even if you're not doing your own stuff. So, voila.
I like it. Perfect. I can't write down and talk at the same time.
I'll write for you since I'm your assistant.
Okay, thanks, assistant. Hey, you guys, what do you think of? What other kind of resources do we have available to us? I'm just wondering what you know of versus what Andrew and I know of.
Amber is going to start doing continuing education classes about like detoxing and that kind of stuff, eliminating toxic lifestyles.
Mm-hmm.
That's on Facebook. Yeah, like a kind of like Oil Camp, but shorter and more bite size, manageable.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys seen Oil Camp? Have you jumped into that that event and seen what it looks like, or had any of your people personally do it?
Or who doesn't know what Oil Camp is?
Well, Brandon probably doesn't know what Oil Camp is.
Yeah, I don't know what Oil Camp is.
Oil Camp is actually totally relevant to this week's topic, because today we're talking about volume retention, LRP orders, all that stuff.
So Oil Camp is a Facebook event. It's not even a group. It's a Facebook event that you have to be specifically invited to, and that you can specifically invite your new customers to. And it's totally customer focused. It's each day the person who runs it, which fortunately is our upline Becky. Becky will post a collaboration of videos and links. She'll post a few things each day and give people some tasks and say, okay, today's
Breathe day.
Yeah, breathe day or on guard day or whatever. And she'll send them to go watch a video, give them a few oil usage tips, and have them explore some stuff on the website. And the benefit to your customers is that, one, they get to learn more about how to use these oils. They get to interact in a community, which people typically like. You know, they like to hear how other people are using things. They also get, oh my gosh, my mind just like, they get points for everything that they do and everything that they complete. They can earn points, and then they can earn bonus points. And all these points add up to win prizes at the end of Oil Camp. So it's a really fun way for your customers to, one, actually start using and experiencing their oils and feel like they've, got a community of support. But it's also a great way for them to score some more free product and to expose them to more things about the doTERRA lifestyle that they may not have even, thought they were interested in or curious about before.
It's so nice because you don't have to run it. We just get to invite people to it. That's it. And then of course, if you
go interact a little bit.
Yeah. So if you have people that you've invited to Oil Camp, then you want to hop on and just comment on the post and encourage them as they're interacting with it. Because what happens, you guys know, when you look at like a gold paycheck and you see a gold that's making $4,000 a month, do you know where that money comes from?
From us.
From us. So most golds have a $1,500 Power 3 bonus at that point, right? And next week or the fourth week of the month is more compensation plan and stuff like that. But golds usually have the $1,500 Power 3 bonus. Do you know where the rest of it comes from, though? There's a gold bonus, right? You get a bonus just for being gold, and it's about $750 a month, which is nice. And then what about the other roughly $2,000?
From their lower levels, right? The unilevel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes from recurring orders.
Recurring orders, exactly. People that are on LRP and even like, our huge uplines that are making $100,000 a month, like almost all of the bulk of that is from unilevel, from just everybody loving their products. And so there's a reason why we thought we should dedicate a whole week every month just talking about volume and LRP orders and retention and all that. And it's because there's a few things that happen if someone, after somebody enrolls, right? We go to all the work of helping someone enroll with a kit, and they're signed up for doTERRA, they have their kit. And what after that? What if you never talk to them? There's a few things that would be missing. One is that if people aren't getting continuing ed, they're not really loving their products, which means they're probably not using their products. And if they're not using their products, then two things don't happen. One, they don't get results. And two, they don't buy more. So your business doesn't continue rolling forward. Does that make sense? And both of those are painful. Perhaps the first one is the most painful because, I think of all the promises that I make someone when I'm sharing oils with them. And I don't, promise that Breathe will cure their asthma or whatever, but I promise that I'll help them find results and solutions. And if they don't use their products, they're not going to see like all the magic that we see, which is so sad. Have you look at Cassie with her handful of babies? No. Have you guys ever signed someone up and found out 2 months later that they haven't been using their oils? It's like the worst feeling ever. And anytime that happens, I go back to me and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not taking care of that person. So, and then the inverse, flip it. Like what happens when you do continuing ed? So Jeff and I have two things that we do for every customer that we sign up. And it's really, really simple. And because we have like our follow-up process down pat, we are super efficient with it and it doesn't take a lot of time. Because I remember if you guys know Sapna on our team, Sapna's frustration is that, she's a nurse practitioner and her husband owns a pediatric office. And so they get a lot of sick people coming to them, people that need hand holding, right? And so they'll sign someone up in doTERRA and then she would get stressed out because she'd be like, I have to hold their hand and tell them, do all this interacting and it takes so much time. And and she's thinking, and they placed a doTERRA order, and the unilevel bonus from that is like $2, right? And of course, we're smart entrepreneurs, and we're looking at the big picture, and you know that if you've got 1,000 people placing an order, you know that's a really chunky paycheck that you get by the end of the month, or the 15th of the month. But the solution is finding a really good rhythm. So should we share the two things that we do?
Sure. Yeah.
So it's really simple. Every new customer that we sign up, we put them on a new customer track in SS Pro, because you know that there's a track for every enrollment kit now, except the emotions kit, because that one was taken away and then came back. So we have to write that now. But so like Brandon, for example, signed up for the Home Essentials kit, right? So I would take Brandon and I'd put him on the Home Essentials kit track, and it would text him little love notes about how to use all the products in his kit. And I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. And it's going to say, Brandon, today's immune system day. I'm going to teach you how to use all the immune support oils in your kit, which are On Guard, Melaleuca, and Oregano, right? And then the next day it might say, today I'm going to teach you what to do for respiratory health, breathe in peppermint. And it takes him through the whole thing so that he learns in little bite-sized chunks, just teeny manageable pieces, what to do. So we do that, and then we do Oil Camp. And Oil Camp is useful because they get more continuing ed plus the community, because they're making friends and they're interacting, and there's, you know, a little bit of like, it's real time. So it's not, there's, you know, like a challenge every day, things like that. He's putting headphones in her ear. Oh my gosh. So we'll get distracted by cute babies. So what do you guys do that works really well for customers and getting them educated? And then ultimately, you know that the end game for a customer is to help them get on LRP, because that means they're using the product, so they're continually improving their health, and you know it's the bulk of your business, right? What works for you guys?
Getting them that Essential Life book is essential.
Okay. Yeah. What do you feel is important for your customers? Once someone enrolls with you, what kind of experience do you want them to have?
I want them to have the book for sure. I totally agree, because the resource, you know, when you've got a go-to resource, and you have to do a little bit of training, right?
I know that I try to get the app for everyone who enrolls, just so that way, I mean, almost everybody has their phone on them at all times, you know, and for those who don't like the app, because I do have a couple older clients who are like, not touching the computer unless I absolutely have to. So then, yeah, I'll have the little like Modern Essentials book, just a little tiny sample one. And I give that to them. And, you know, I think really what I've found the most effective is if you do a really solid wellness consultation. Like I love the way Corey does it. Like the whole time she's doing a class, like all throughout the enrollment process, she is setting them up from the beginning, saying, okay, this is, you know, your 3 to 6 months. Let's have our plan. We're going to do all these things. And just really making sure that they know step by step, right up front, like right out the gate, they know exactly what they're supposed to do, so that as they start using, they're like, oh, okay, well, I got this and I need this. And then, you know, just providing them with the follow-ups too. I know a lot of people love the Facebook classes. Like they love Facebook groups, and they love being able to ask questions. So that's what I found is really helpful.
I like that. Corey, did you want to share? That's okay if you didn't. Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Corey. Hey, real quick, Corey, Brandon, I'm going to jump to you, because Brandon is one of our newest, you know, business builders, but he's also a new customer too, right? So Brandon, if you don't mind just being really frank and honest with us, what do you think is important for you as a new customer? I mean, you're new to this oil world. Everyone on the call has at least been familiar with oils for the past year or so, you know, if not more. Brandon, what is most interesting to you? Like what is going to help you feel most supported from the customer perspective? And I guess we can all answer this question. What motivates us to buy, right? Like, cause our business is a business, right? We function in a society where money needs to transact. But we don't do this for the money. We can do this because of the money. We do this because we care about people, and it's fun, and we enjoy it, and we like the time freedom that it gives us. but we can do it because there is money. So we know that transactions need to take place, orders need to keep recurring, but that can't be the end game. That won't last very long. So Brandon, what I don't know. Well, you heard my question. I'm going to shut up.
No, I mean, I think for me, before doTERRA, I'd used limited essential oils that, I was aware of, just, basic oils, lavender, peppermint, stuff like that. But I think for me, the biggest piece is, I guess, learning all of the combinations. Going through that Essentials Life book, I will do that on downtime or during a lunch break, and kind of look and constantly see new things that I can do with the oils other than the kind of the basic stuff that I've already learned. Really cool recipes, stuff like that. But also, it's just absorbing the amount of literature and product knowledge that's available. So for me as a customer, I'm the type of customer that I like to know quality versus quantity, and what I'm buying, where it's coming from, what the mission statement is, what company am I supporting. So I feel like I have access to all of that, should I want to know. And I think that's what made me a believer in doTERRA. So I don't really, I don't have any qualms or anything. I would say that it can get confusing when I feel like you're looking for maybe, how am I trying to say this? It can get confusing because sometimes you aren't sure of whether the simplest blend is appropriate as opposed to a mixture of blends. So I feel like I have a knowledge of essential oils, at least for me, so it's easy for me to oh no, I could just use this in place of that. But I have a friend who's really interested in doTERRA, and she's but wait, I was doing some research online, and so am I just using peppermint, or am I using peppermint and this and that? So I feel like sometimes it can get a little overwhelming if you aren't knowledgeable or okay in saying, okay, I'm going to use 2 oils and that's it, versus oh, well, this blend has 6 oils, so maybe I should be using that, and that's going to be more effective. Yeah. So I think that's the only kind of line, is that some people that aren't familiar with oils can be overwhelmed by using multiple as opposed to using one.
Yeah.
Some would argue Serenity versus lavender. Well, if I don't have Serenity, is lavender not going to be as effective for stress reduction as opposed to Serenity? So stuff like that.
That's why I think the customer, the Healthy Hero Oil User Facebook group is so useful, because customers have a community where they can go and ask questions like that. Because the book can't explain that to you. The book doesn't say well, it doesn't have opinions.
Well, and if you read the book cover to cover, you'd find out, you'd understand, because it's referenced in there a couple times. But the point, and that we all know, as oil users, is that there is a little bit of a beginning education, right? Oils aren't like medication. You don't take a Tylenol for a headache. You don't take peppermint for a headache, and that's it. You can take peppermint or wintergreen or past tense or frankincense or on and on and on and on, and so that's really valid, Brandon. And I think being aware of that process, and that my biggest message to people is, you're learning to think a little bit differently, right? You're thinking. You want really linear, really clear lines here. The clearest line I can establish for you is that it's safe, right? Don't drink a whole bottle of wintergreen and you're fine, but you're safe. So what you're using is safe. So this is where you really, we're inviting people to get in touch with, get out of their head more and more in their heart. And that may sound a little ooey gooey, but guys, ultimately, I'm sorry, we're ooey gooey people at our core. That's what we're made of,
And we love you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I think we're inviting people to get back in touch with a little bit more of that inner knowing, and really something as pure as a plant source is so awesome for that. And that's one of the things I love about Essentials. So we're just kind of calling people to a different way of thinking and meeting them wherever they're at. Some people are so, cut and dry, square, numbers and mathematics. They're no, I want to know, is lavender or Serenity better for my sleep, and why?
I also think it comes from the modality, though. A lot of the people I meet in my day-to-day life, are freelancers or people that are working 2 or 3 jobs, or don't have a lot of time. And so they're used to coming from a mindset where it's oh, I can't sleep. I take a sleep aid. I have a headache, I take a Tylenol. You know, I'm sick, I take a Benadryl. So they're used to having this like one-stop shop for whatever symptom they're experiencing. And I'm trying to get a lot of the people that I'm talking to shift their mindset from reactive to preventative.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you're going to go work out and you pull a muscle, you're not going to stretch afterwards. Like, you should be stretching before you work out, so that way you don't pull the muscle that you're doing. So I think that's a big thing too. And it's really important, is getting that, you know, the lifestyle piece in there is really about the lifestyle. During the Aroma Touch class that I took on Sunday, it was cool to see like everyone's different experiences with essential oils, but also how Aroma Touch can be used to introduce people in like a really intimate, genuine way to the oils, which I thought was really cool.
Brandon, this idea of like people are reactive, like that's just normal. That's allopathic medicine, right? Western medicine. Something's wrong, so then you go to the doctor and say, fix it. But you know, there's even a treasure in being able to meet people at that level. I mean, I think if I can, my end goal is to teach you how to create wellness, right? But I'm totally ready to meet you where you are. And if all you know and all you're ready to do is to react to stuff, I'm at least going to teach you how to react using natural things. So like, if instead of going to a sleep aid, I'm going to teach you to take 2 Serenity Complex, you know, the soft gels, 2 Serenity Complex, and use Serenity oil in your diffuser. And that's your sleep go-to. Things like that. And if you tear a muscle at the gym, I'm going to teach you how to use lemongrass and deep blue after that happens. And so there's value in both. And I even, like, I mean, I don't even, accidents happen, stuff happens, right? Something goes wrong and you weren't expecting it, even if you're a really healthy person. So I think that's a good segue into the conversation we promised we'd continue from last week, which is how do we use each person's natural strengths on this call to be able to, we talked about last week how to use your strengths to enroll people, right? So this week, how to use your strengths to support your customers and support your builders to retain people.
Did I unmute myself?
Yep.
Yeah.
I swear I didn't do that. Anyway, okay, so one of my things is individualization, and that's just knowing that everyone is individual and unique and celebrating that. And so I could use that by knowing, you know, it's not one size fits all with oils, like Brandon was saying, that, you know, people are very different and react differently. And so helping figure out what their specific issues are and, you know, a protocol that will work for them.
That's so good. I mean, you know that the point of the strengths is that your strength will complement someone else's situation. And Cassie, you might run into people that are used to, I just want my doctor to tell me how many pills to take kind of thing, right? And the truth is, I mean, even with an anxiety medication, your doctor might try you on 7 meds before he finds out what's right. And it's the exact same thing with oils. And so because that's your strength, Cassie, that's beautiful that you can bring that reassurance to someone, exactly what you just said. Like, hey, I care about your well-being. And one of the things that I'm really good at is individualizing things for different people. And so we're going to try some different things, try some combos, and we're going to find out what's going to get you the best sleep of your life kind of thing. What about strategic? Because that's one thing that I was really excited to talk about because so many people had strategic on our team. How do you see strategy?
Real quick, I just want to point out. So Andrew and I, we learned that you can buy the rest of your strengths for like $85 or something. So it wasn't hundreds of dollars like I thought it might be.
$75.
Oh, $75. So we got the rest of our strengths. You guys, strategic is way down in mine. And my very last one is activator.
Which is they're both in my top 5. And ironically enough, Jeff sometimes has a hard time trusting my strategic abilities. So now I got to remind you that that's one of my strengths. But I mean, I'm looking at this call, like, I mean, 3/4 of the people just on this call, and then everyone that watches the recordings. You guys know that like 12 more builders watch the recording every week. Yeah, so that's good that you're having your teams hop back on. But a lot of people had strategic though. So how do you see that strength as being really useful for helping people take advantage of LRP and get better results from their products on an ongoing basis? Brandon has strategic.
Well, for me, strategic in my interpretation is always about, I almost think of it almost as looking at foresight or like playing a game of chess and kind of anticipating questions or like needs based off of that. So in terms of building LRP, it would really just boil down to the nitty gritty, like taking time to figure out what the person I'm working with actually needs in their life and setting up an LRP that would be reflective of the needs that they do on a day-to-day basis. So once we get them into the habit of using an essential oil or making essential oils part of their life, then it's a matter of, okay, let's strategize and think like what oils could we keep on an LRP for you? What oils could we put maybe on a rotating basis for that you would need like every other month? And really taking that into account and actually strategizing that around that, the order around that as well. But also strategizing in terms of like other uses for it too. I feel like me personally, I'm very much like, I try to anticipate things. It's just one of my crazy like idiosyncratic traits where I'm always analyzing everything. So I feel like that would be what for me would work best, is really anticipating what they need, because that's how I kind of live my life, in anticipation and kind of expectations, and preparing and being over prepared.
That's so good. Do you know what a lot of people don't like to do? Think. And so to have a strategist as your wellness advocate is a huge advantage, because like Brandon as a strategist could go through their stuff and he could write a rotating schedule and write out 5 or 6 months of LRP for that person. And then you know what else strategists do? Strategists, part of the strategy is understanding potential outcomes and potential pitfalls. That's what strategists are really good at. And so because I know that getting in the habit of product usage is a prerequisite to product consumption on an ongoing basis, I know that we've got to make the habit happen. And so if I'm talking to someone that's like, I'm just not good at doing things consistently, what am I going to do? I'm going to whip out their damn iPhone and I'm going to say, hold down the Siri button and say, Siri, remind me on the 5th of every month to check my LRP schedule. And then what's going to happen on the 5th of every month? They're going to get a push notification saying, check your LRP schedule. But that's what a strategist does, right? You recognize where there's going to be a hole, and you can help them fill the hole, because you know that there's 2 goals: get you results and keep you consuming product because you're getting results. And so whatever's going to get in the way of that, I'm going to build my strategy to make sure that we have solutions to work around those pitfalls.
May I comment just really quickly on that?
Please.
So as an arranger, which is a very similar but not quite the same as a strategic, the way that I look at things, it's very similar, but it's just slightly different in that I try to find ways for people to incorporate product. So again, kind of part of that developing the habit more so of like, okay, we're going to plan down the road and this is what you need. I know that they're going to need that because I'm trying to insert this product, whatever it happens to be. Okay, this is a critical part of your wellness. Like this has to happen daily, like every day, no exceptions. Like how can we incorporate this into your life so that way this puzzle piece happens and then the rest of it can go on. So I just try to make it really, really practical for the people that I'm trying to support. And if I can break it down and make it really simple for them, then the LRP kind of just automatically happens. Like they're just on board with it because they know they need it.
Simple works. It's really good. What about empathic? Because empathy was also one of the most common strengths on the team. Who has that one? That's like my last strength.
I have that as my first one.
Oh, great.
Huh. Well, I would say being empathic just helps you to be able to allow them to feel that you really care about them and that you're really wanting to see, them heal and see them progress. And I had connectedness like right after that. And so when you have the empathic, I think it's easier to connect with a person. And when they feel that connection with you, then it builds a trust. They feel safe. They feel like they can come to you and talk to you about their problems. That's one of the main things I've seen with empathic, is people feel safe. And then once they are able to talk to you and kind of pour their heart out about what's going on, then you can, easily say, well, what I've done in that situation and then share what you've done. And because you've built that trust, then they're, that they want to do what you've done and see if it can help them as well.
Wow.
Another part of empathic is just intuitively knowing what people need. That's, I believe that's what I read on empathic on ours.
Yeah.
And they listen to you. People show up when they feel that you care. And so like, if I've heard some people have asked me like, what do I do if people don't want a wellness consult? And if empathic is one of your strengths, or a strength that's related to empathy, then my advice for that would be make it so clear to them how much you care about them.
We'll find out what they do want.
Yeah.
If they don't want a wellness consult, what do they want?
But my point is though, like, I mean, if they feel like you care, they're way more likely to want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
In fact, okay, I have a nugget that I'm so excited to share with you. Jeff and I you guys know we went to Elise Chedevy's special rank training strategy stuff on Saturday. Cassie came too. It was for silvers and above only. So if you don't know, Elise Chedevy is the highest ranked person in doTERRA. She's triple presidential diamond, which means she hit presidential diamond, started a brand new team, made that hit presidential diamond,
triple diamond,
and triple diamond. Then she started a third team, and that third team hit diamond. So she's presidential diamond, diamond. Like, that's very, very big. She has over 500,000 people in her entire organization. And she and her husband are just in this like giving mode. It's so interesting. We were talking about it this morning. Like they don't need anything, right? Like when you're triple diamond, they live in the Czech Republic and own a hotel that they just use for fun. And they did this.
Oh, Cassie, you missed it. Yeah. They invited everyone to a retreat at their hotel for cost.
Yeah.
Like less than $600. Yeah, less than $600.
$550.
Yeah, $550 for a week in the Czech Republic.
All meals from gourmet chefs included.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, so they're just in this giving mode. And so they did the strategy day because Elise said she wanted to share her strategy. She spent over $1.5 million with experts developing strategies on how to grow the business fastest.
2 million.
And she said it was 1.5 or 2.
Oh, yeah.
And just so you guys know, with Jeff applied for Diamond Club. I don't know if you made that public to our team.
No, we haven't really talked about it, and I wanted to share with them.
Okay.
Yep,
but you're going to want to like work with this guy after what we learned on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because I mean, she's the kind of girl that's like, let's hit silver in like, a weekend or whatever. And boom, you do it. But she shared she shared some nuggets on how to get people on LRP. And this is what she said, and it's very empathy related. This is her exact wording. I wrote it down, so you might want to take notes. She says, if you're willing to invest, this is what she says at the class or the one-on-one at the end when they're enrolling. So they're filling out their enrollment form, okay? She says, if you're willing to invest in your health like this, aka enrolling with a kit, I'm willing to invest in you. So I'm going to take my time and what I've learned, and I'm going to help you learn how to use these products, even in a daily routine. And I really want you to succeed. So we'll do a one-on-one consult on the phone or FaceTime in person. And she's like, can you imagine anyone that would say no to that? But
no, that's really awesome.
The magic line is the first one, so I'll repeat it. She says, if you're willing to invest in your health like this, I'm willing to invest in you. And then they just feel like, oh, she cares about me, or like, wow, I feel so special. I feel so important to this person.
They see more of a value exchange too. They're like, yeah, I just plunked down all this money for this kit, and I'm investing in myself. And that is so awesome that you recognize that, and you're going to help me make the most of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like all these things subconsciously go through people's brains,
And you guys, Elisa's, one of her biggest strengths is value exchange. If you do this, I'll do this. If you do this, I'll do this. It's not, oh, you got a kit? Yeah. You get a free wellness consult with that. I mean, I really, and inside the energy is like, oh, I've got to get him signed up for the wellness consult. I've got to give him an LRP. That's not what it is at all. It's, if you invest in your health like this, I'll invest in you. Like, it's totally different energy.
What do you guys think of that? How does that feel?
I like it.
I do. I like it a lot too.
Do you feel? Do you see ways inside your mind where you could say that and make it sound really personable and relatable to you and the people that you talk with? or maybe the script itself is fine just the way it is. Cool.
So
Good.
the other thing that's relevant to continue or to customer retention and all of that, and we haven't even talked about builder retention, so that'll have to be another week, I guess. But so Elise has a team in Malaysia that she's growing on her M2 account, which is her third team that she's building. And just so you guys know, Malaysia is not an open country, meaning there's no doTERRA office in it. They have to order their products from another country, a neighboring country.
And have them shipped over.
She has a leader going Blue Diamond in a country that's not open. Like, that's incredible. And they have this continuing ed thing that they do that just made us like, we were just dying in this workshop that we were at. So they do weekly continuing ed class, like what Amber wants to do, but they build so much value into it that their classes, like, they'll have 200 people attend continuing ed. And they have an award program where you get like badges basically, or they keep track of how many times you come to continuing ed and what classes you've attended. And you get to walk across the stage at the end of continuing ed every week. You get to walk for continuing ed and
After you complete like an 8-week course.
Yeah, or whatever it is. And you get to take a picture with your upline and they shake your hand.
You get a certificate.
And so Elise said that she was visiting Malaysia recently and that she's watching this just thinking, what on earth? Like, people are working. They're like working to get their continuing ed certificate and to be able to walk. And one lady even came up to Elise and she said, I was going to walk today. I worked so hard to be able to walk for continuing ed, but such and such emergency happened in my family last week. But next time you're here, I will walk for continuing ed. Like, these are just customers, you guys.
Yeah, like not business builders, just people that are thrilled about using the oils and the doTERRA products.
Like, they care that much about their oils that they have to order it from a freaking neighboring country. Like, and I think, oh my gosh, we're so freaking spoiled in the US. Like, Jeff and I drive 5 minutes down the road to get our order, and the rest of you guys pay $3.99 and have it shipped 2 days to your house. Like, and these people are ordering from a neighboring country, and they're like sacrificing their time to go to continuing ed so they can get their certificate and walk to get a picture with their upline. Like, so the lesson for me for that is the value that I see in what we have and how I convey that to other people. So, does anyone have any thoughts about customer retention, just any of these topics? Or is anybody inspired to do something a little bit differently?
Inspired to actually follow up with people.
Get in, pick a routine. Like I told you, Jeff and I, every new customer that we enroll, we give them a book if they sign up with LRP, right? And then we put everyone on the SS Pro track and in Oil Camp. That's our routine. And whatever you do, just make it a little systematic thing so that it happens. And then deliver it using your strengths, using the empathy, or if you got the command or the activator, like just telling them what they're going to do because you're going to help them get well, right? Or whatever works according to your natural talents. Pick a system and then use your strengths to deliver the value of what you've chosen. So, and just a quick note about retaining builders, because that's a whole separate call in itself. But the same principles apply though. If you do this, I'll do this. If you do this, I'll do this. If you're willing to invest an hour a week in a mentor call or 30 minutes a week in a mentor call, I'm willing to invest in you, kind of thing. But so there's that same value exchange. So just have to do it all in that soon.
Yeah. Oh, dang, we lost Amber. She probably needed to go.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you want to make your announcement?
Actually, hold on just a second. We'll be right back.
It's a secret.
Did you guys just hear me brush my teeth?
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
A little bit.
I thought I was on mute. I totally thought I was on mute. Oh my God.
Okay. For builders that are watching the recording, you are going to miss out because this part isn't going to be recorded. So try to make our call live next time, or talk to your upline, or comment on Facebook and we can talk about it in the group.